Hello there, fellow dreamers and make-believers. So as you probably noticed, I've been doing a lot of these videos lately, just to get to know you and for you guys to get to know me. And in this video, I thought I was going to talk about writing and just the journey of trying to be a writer and the ups and downs and the pitfalls and just like my experiences. And if you've written something or you're thinking about writing something or just have some opinions on like advice, I am all ears. So basically, for those of you who don't know, I am S. McPherson, and I wrote, I am writing the young adult fantasy saga, The Water Rushes, and it's basically the story of two girls in two different worlds that become the most valuable, well, most powerful weapons in the same war. And I started writing it, about 2 years ago now, or maybe a bit more. And then I released the first in the series last November. And it's done okay. I mean, like, there's so much that I know now that I didn't know then, and so, like, hindsight, always. So, for instance, beta readers, right? So this time, I've written the second one, and the second one is called Caught in the Ripples, and that's coming out very soon. And that one, I was more experienced. I feel like, I feel like I grew a lot, and I know a bit more, and, obviously, the first time around, I did get a professional book cover designer. I did get a professional editor. Like, I did, get professionals to help me, but I wasn't aware of the miracle of beta readers and reviews and all that stuff. So I'm very behind in that regard of marketing and that area of books and how it all works. So it was really, so it's been such a learning curve, and I kind of wish I had the learning curve before I released the book, but you know what to do. You live and you learn. So, so my experience with the first book, which I'll just show you. So this is At Water's Edge. So this is the first book. And my friend Sarah, she works for a design company called KH Design. So so I drew it. So because this is specifically from my book. So this is the crest of my magical world that I invented. So I drew the cover, but I drew it like terribly, like a scrap piece of paper. Not good. And then I went to my friend Sarah, and I was just like, okay, well, this is my idea. Here's a little piece of paper. And so she remade it, and I think she did a fantastic job. So that was the cover. So that was great. And yeah, she's a professional, so that was great. And I actually sent what I thought was my final draft to my editor, and luckily he was such a good editor. He's Clive S. Johnson. He's in the UK, and obviously just did it via email. But yeah, he's such a good editor that he, when he wrote back to me, he was like, yeah, it's pretty good, interesting story premise, yada, yada, yada. Like, he corrected all the grammatical errors that I made, and then he was like, but how about, like, this part of the story seems so important, and you don't really touch on it very much, how about including that? So in a way, he ended up being a beta reader, which was really helpful, but still, at the same time, I did not know that you could actually just do that. I did not know that you could get beta readers, like, you could go on Goodreads and just Google, and be like, hey, who wants to read my book? I'd love your opinion. So when the reviews came out, luckily, knock on wood, luckily, it's been a mostly 4 stars / 5 stars, and then like 2 or 3 stars. So, for a first book by a complete novice, I'm happy with a majority 4 stars. So that's good. I'm happy with that. But, it's just like, I got the reviews, and like there was some that said like, oh, I wish, because as I said, it's about 2 girls in 2 different worlds. And so those 2 girls are Desiree and Lexovia. And some of the reviews were like, oh, I wish there was more Lexovia. And I was kind of kicking myself because I was like, well, actually, there was more Lexovia. I cut her out because I was like, oh, whatever. She's not really driving the story in this one. Like, they're both important. But there was like scenes when the 2 girls switch. But Lexovia, like, in my opinion, at the time, as a novice, at the time, she wasn't doing much. Like, I was telling a bit about her backstory and like introducing her to new people, and it was interesting. Like, honestly, I liked the scenes, but then there I was being like, judging too hard and being too strict. Well, but I guess it has its merits to be too strict and too hard. But I was just like, you know what? No one gives a shit. No one cares about that. Skip it, cut it out. And then I got reviews, not all of them, but yeah, there were reviews that were like, oh yeah, like, really good, I really enjoyed it, but would have been nice to have more Lexovia. So I was just like, well, there was like 3 more scenes of Lexovia, if not more, and I cut them out. So that was really annoying. What else have I learned? So I've learned the power and the benefit of beta readers. And then also, like, I put it up for pre-order, which you're supposed to do. But I put it up for pre-order like a month before, which is like the earliest you can put it up for pre-order. But then after doing some research, they were like, well, actually, don't put it up too early, because if it's on pre-order, like when you first release it, it goes onto like a new releases tab so people can see it. And if it's on pre-order for too long, then by the time you actually do release it, it's not on that new releases page anymore. It's not. They don't tell you that. You have to research, but it's not on that page anymore. And then it's out and nobody really knows it's out, and that is the hardest part that I find. I mean, of course, writing the book is hard. Like, writing the book is really difficult, but I find that after that, like, it's really difficult to get people to actually know it's even there. So with the second one, I think I've made some improvements. Like, there's still just always, and there's just so much to learn, and there's always so much to learn. So I feel with the second one, I managed to get some beta readers, and that was phenomenal. Like, I got so much feedback on things that I wasn't sure about, or things that I was thinking about cutting out, and then some would say, yeah, cut it out, and then there'd be other things that I was thinking about cutting out, and they're like, oh, I love that part. I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting to know, because I was about to take that part out. So it's been a real learning curve, and I think I'm just going to constantly be learning, and I think everyone who embarks on writing is going to be learning. I'll show you the second one. So this is the second one, Caught in the Ripples. And again, my designer friend did this one. I don't know why. The print has kind of come out a little bit stretched, the print version. Like, on the computer, it doesn't look like this. But that's just, again, another learning curve I'm going to have to take, because if you see the first one, it looks a bit more compact. I don't know why. I'm really not sure how that worked out. But that's just, again, something else that I'm going to have to look at, like the editing and the design and yeah, the story itself. And you know, I used to study script writing, so I saw this line, and I always remember it. It's just, when in doubt, cut it out. So, of course, that's what I did. But it's different in a movie and in a book, because in a book, there are elements and things that the viewer wants to see in a book that they don't necessarily care about in a movie, because you want to keep the plot moving in a movie. And you do want to keep a plot moving in a book, but just, yeah, you can slow it down a little bit. You can show those little nice background nuances. You know, I don't know if you guys, well, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's like a picture of an iceberg, and the iceberg's huge, but then you look underneath the surface of the water, and it's mammoth. And they compare that to, like, the movie, the book, and it's so true. So there was things that I was cutting out with my thinking of, you know, it's not driving the story anywhere, but it's actually interesting and a backstory that actually the reader ended up wanting to know. So that's like some stuff I've learned. I've learned the benefits of beta readers. I've learned the benefit of focusing on the background nuances. I've learned the benefit of design, edit, but luckily I was aware of those things before. Luckily I appreciated them before, but it's just been so amazing to have them. I found Goodreads. I mean, I already had Goodreads, but I was using it as a reader, so I found like all the little things that they have and groups that they have for authors, which is just fantastic. And yeah, what else? It's a hard process. It's a scary process. I'm still in the middle. I don't know where it's going to go. I know where I hope for it to go, but I have no idea where it's going to go. But it's just nice to actually have someone to talk to about it. And if you have read my books, or if you're inspired to go and read my books, please let me know your thoughts. And honestly, like, don't rip it to shreds, but honestly, give me your feedback, because it's just amazing, like, to know what someone likes or doesn't like. And especially if it comes up more than once, it's just like, wow, okay, so maybe that wasn't a good move, or maybe that's not believable, or maybe, you know, it's just so nice to get the feedback. So yeah, so thanks for listening to me ramble on and on. I think it's been like 10 minutes or something. So thank you for giving me that 10 minutes to just let this off my chest. And I'll be doing more videos, and I'd love to just get in touch with you any way I can. So please don't hesitate. Bye!